What's up and welcome to Idle Insights, a show where each week I, Treavor Bettis, talk to interesting people about idle champions and Dungeons and Dragons. And joining me this week are two of my favorite people, Meagan and Todd Kenreck. Hello!
Hello.
Todd looks so shocked.
Live? Is this
yes,
live?
this is live. You've also just come out of a blackout. You're back on your old show. You're in a different seat now.
Oh man, how long was I out?
It's been 3 years.
Actually, no. Here's the thing. I had Kate Welch on the show a few weeks ago, and she was like, "When did you take over the show?" I was like, "Oh, June of 2020." 2022. What? And that does not feel like it was that long ago. It still feels like I just took over the show from you. But
It's
you know what?
it's gonna feel worse because that's how time works. It's
That
gonna
is.
get worse and worse. It's just
It
gonna
is.
get longer.
It is.
Yeah.
But if folks somehow in the chat don't know who the two of you are, who are you two for those fine folks who may not know?
I'm going to
I'm
let
a-
Todd take this.
I'm a meat popsicle. I'm married to Meagan. I don't know. I talk about D&D a lot, and
You do?
pays the bills. Pays the bills. So that's who I am. Trying to terrify this woman every day with cardboard cutouts. That's kind of my thing. I used to work at Codename. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Man,
trying to get that
I wouldn't
insurance
call it
money.
Points on the
working.
resume.
Checks all the boxes.
Yeah. That's me. I'm 6'5". I like pros.
Mhm.
How you feel about long walks on the beach?
You know what? Sometimes they're too long because you like walk down the beach and you're like, oh no, I have to like walk back though.
Right?
And then you're like, what have I done?
Yeah, but
This is
sometimes
no
you find
longer
a
peaceful.
giant rock, like
Yeah.
haystack rock. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
True.
Meagan, who are you?
Oh,
Who are you,
God.
Meagan?
I don't like it when Todd says my name. And he doesn't like when I say his name.
Meagan.
My great grandma says it. I'm Meagan Kenreck, and I do D&D stuff. I've been on Idle Champions. I have a character named Widdle in the game, and her most recent skin was the Hands of Havoc, which is super awesome. She's like a Tank Girl, Quicksilver combination.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
I've
Lauren's got them
also-
up on the screen there.
Yeah, there they are. And now Todd has a gnome as well, gnome glitch.
Oh yeah. I downgraded.
How dare you? What, now that
No.
we can see eye to eye, you downgraded?
No, I downsized. Avren. First off, the pants are so much more expensive when you're half elf.
Tiny house version of Avren.
Yeah, it's tiny house
Yeah.
Avren. He's a Snurfneen assassin type of vibe going on with this skin, and I just really wanted tall hair for this one. I always think of what is that Mr. Strange and
Dr. Noel.
Dr. Norrell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the kind of archfey character in there and how obscenely tall his hair is.
I
Yeah.
think both of our
I think it's a
gnomes
good
are
look for a
using
gnome
Aquanet.
who's just like got just a big old pompadour of hair. Just
Once again, a skin for Avren did not fail to surprise me.
I mean, it's really hard after the auto gnome.
No, it's
and the
real hard
rat
after the
Avren.
cranium rat one. That
Yeah.
was
I
haunting.
think
I
that
don't
was
know
your
if you know
best
this in
one.
Planescape, but there is an entire swarm of cranium rats
Oh,
that
yeah.
happens to be in a suit and a little outfit. There's a little Easter egg there for you. Just,
Oh, good fun times. Yep. Now we got two new skins for these two lovely characters. I did just realize that Widdle has very tall heels on, and I love them. Like you could kill someone with those.
There's a whole Pinterest board where I like picked out all these punk rock things, and I just saw those boots, and I was like, I have to make this part of the skin. And I actually worked it into the Idle Champions Presents story when Riddle, her character from Legends of the Multiverse, made a cameo appearance and she stole a couple of blades from somebody in Sigil, handed it to Widdle and said, hey, these will make you taller. You should, attach these to your boots. So that's how we made that part of the story.
I love it. That's fantastic. I want to kick things off with a fun little question I thought would be good since I got the two of you here. Can you two tell me about the first time you played D&D together?
oh God.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a heated debate about spell levels because me being a new player, I think Trevor, you and I have talked about this before,
I think so.
where I was like, why is the spell level different than the character level? I do not comprehend. And Todd explained it to me in different ways, probably about 7 or 8 different times. Like, I don't understand. I still don't understand. So I think it took us probably playing the game 3 to 4 times before I was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense because you can upcast your levels.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the first time we played D&D, it was actually streamed. So I learned how to play D&D on camera. So like that extra pressure made me do a little bit more studying, I think.
That's fair. I'm assuming Todd was the DM for that one.
He was the DM. He was the producer. We were all playing like this Viking campaign. Asgardians.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
What
That
was
was
it
another
called?
time loop. I love time loops.
You do love
Time loops are
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really
that was a good
fun,
time.
That was a really fun campaign.
It's a good time loop.
I think the first character
That's
I played was a sorcerer.
well, this was a good interview. Thrilled that I showed up.
Yep. I want to make it a great show for you, Todd. I want to give you a warm welcome back.
Oof. I don't know, chat. How many puns does he get left?
I guess I should say yes. Hey, chat, we're live this week. We will be doing a giveaway later in the show. And if you want to ask any questions to Meagan or Todd, put them into the chat with question, and then your question, and we'll talk about them at the end of the show. But yeah, I couldn't remember exactly if Meagan, that first time you were playing D&D, if Todd was in that one. But yeah. I just love y'all's little D&D couple. It's so cute.
We're always
very
married.
Understanding.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
a
and if
very
we're not,
compassionate
then
DM.
like Widdle gets weirdly fixated on Ordred as an NPC, so that is basically it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable.
That came a couple years after I learned that I didn't want to be an ethereal elf anymore. I wanted to go in a complete opposite direction, and that's how I landed on Widdle. And so we had a D&D one-on-one shot where I think I don't know if I should say this. Widdle was doing a pole dance for Todd's character. And then I took that concept and reeled it way in for the streamed version of Widdle.
It wasn't requested, by the way. It just Widdle just comes on real strong.
She liked his pecs a whole lot.
This is one of those NPCs I never thought would take off that much. Bordred, but I loved Bordred.
It's always those.
What a disaster of a character who was from first edition and had to be put in a pocket domain because even Avren was terrified of him. Bordred's probably proto Avren. It's just nothing was right. Like
it's a variant.
The beholders looked weird. A hard rain would kill your character in first edition.
Oh,
this is different. Any evil that survived first edition has to be contained. It's dangerous. It's mean.
That's fair.
And especially a wizard that just refuses to wear a shirt.
I just realized we have a Hope Laville in the chat. Says Vordred, best character ever.
Hope Laville is the best person ever.
Agreed.
Second and third.
Second to Meagan. And if you're not first, you're last. So sorry, Hope.
Oh my god! How did you turn that around so fast?
It was like really sweet at first, and then wow.
A receptor went on his brain. You were too sweet. You're too nice.
You're too nice. I just went right into Dungeon Master mode. No, Hope is a genius, and people don't understand. Like Hope is like Hope and I ran the same scam on someone on our group of D&D players twice. Once, Hope was playing a very, very sweet character, not unlike Hope herself. But turns out that for several, 5 episodes, she was playing this evil goddess named Saranthus. And when people found out, and she literally dropped the entire Flying Citadel and freaked everybody out and revealed it, people were mad at Hope for being so good because Hope was leaving hints. Every episode that she was a fake, like she was that her character had been replaced, and even one party member actually, one player said, "I know it's a game, and I know Hope did a good job, I'm a little mad at Hope.
That's how good Hope was.
Because that's how good Hope is.
Amazing role playing. I didn't suspect anything. I was
And
completely
then Hope
blown
did the
away.
same thing for Asmodeus. And watching Hope play evil is just it haunts me. Hope is this like great actress. So
I think the last time I was scared was watching that little kid in Pet Cemetery that went dark side. Like I haven't been that scared in a long time.
yeah, it's we need more footage of Hope Lavelle just doing any evil scene because it will chill you to the bone. It's not cool. It's very upsetting. Anyways, hi Hope. I missed you. This is the Hope Show now.
Yeah, this is the Hope Show. This is the Hope Appreciation Show.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Sorry,
Laura, if you could change the code to just "We Love Hope," that'd be great. Meagan, I've had you on the show before. We got to talk about Widdle, so I'm gonna. Laura says, "Give me 2 minutes." Todd, last time we talked on this show, you were handing the show over to me, so I'm gonna ask this time: who's Avren?
Oh man, what? How? No one. Everyone asks that, but they don't ask how is Avren.
You know what? No, okay, no. How's Avren? How's he doing?
That character has a lot of PTSD.
I believe he does. I believe
this is weird motivated character that was like trickery to survive, which I always like that concept of, because I don't like dishonest people. I hate, like, for example, I hate Mysterio from Spider-Man. Yeah, I hate that character. I hate trickster characters who are just tricksters for no reason. So Avren's always the concept behind Avren, and that's been an evolution. He started out as a ranger, right? And then he was a rogue that was like a go-lucky rogue. And then as I grew up and I became 18, I just went full assassin. But so this is a character who started out very sweet and then innocent and kind of went dark side. And I guess the idea always for Avren was that trickery was always a means of survival, like camouflage, to save other people. And part of the joke and part of the lie is pretending like you're a bad person and doing terrible things under the guise of like an actual good thing to do. Hard character to pull off in D&D because there's a lot of missing context there, and it tends to go more villainy. And I mean, he didn't have to sew a giant arm onto, a halfling. That was probably not appropriate. He's done some things that were suspect. Teleport someone out of a troll's belly. But I do love playing Avren.
I mean, it's better than into a troll's belly. So
no, it was into the belly. Yeah.
Oh, I heard out of. So okay,
no, you burst out of it eventually. Yeah. He had a parts farm that was pretty popular. Just spare parts. There was a version of Avren that was just like Manipede. So it's just Avren clones. He has sold his own hot dogs that are actually his own clone meat. So I don't know if that's a trigger warning for anyone at home. So Avren's a lot. So yeah,
I don't think I've ever regretted asking a question on Idle Insights
Can you
before.
expound upon Manipede?
Yeah. They opened a door at one point, and behind the door was Avren Manipede, and they closed that door. Not all dungeons. Not all.
By the way, chat, you have a bonus code now. We love Hope with 2 exclamation points. We'll also net you a Electrum chest.
I don't think I answered your question at all, but
I feel like you did in ways.
In ways, I have ways of answering questions.
Avren used his trickery for good, I think, in a lot of ways. Because I think you kind of went against the whole like hero trope. Like I have to come in and save the day. I can't
play heroes. I can't.
But you did save the day in a lot of ways.
I mean, as an NPC,
you just like
ish. In adventures where I'm not DMing, yes, but it's very important for when you have your own character in a game that you're DMing, they should not be effective. Right? Like they can't be a hero all the way, because then they'd be saving the day all the time. It'd just be Zinc from D&D the movie. That character has to fail, right? Like if you put your NPC in there, they can't be great. So you kind of skewed Avren even darker and darker over time, because he just had to be deeply flawed. Because the heroes are the heroes. That's the point.
Or you were setting the bar so low that whenever
Setting
you
the
did
bar
anything
very
good,
low.
people were really impressed.
Yeah.
It's a good approach.
Hey, look how terrible you can be, everybody. Like,
Yeah. See, you could be worse.
you could be way worse. Hey, that's kind of the trope that you see with trickster characters in general. Like Loki is very awful, and once he gets a TV show, he's doing a lot better, isn't he?
Real motivating to be a good
Avengers,
guy.
he's like, and I love how they like handle that too in Loki this in season 1, bro. He takes the dude's eyeball and he's smiling ear to ear, and so my favorite part about that show, by the way, Loki. I love Loki as a character in movies and the TV show, but Owen Wilson dressing him down.
Oh yeah,
Just reading him is so perfect and just understands the psychology of that type of person. Owen Wilson is highly underrated in that show. He is.
I never
part.
thought I would say the words Owen Wilson is my favorite part
It's
of the
so
MCU,
weird. I know.
But...
I have Owen Wilson Mobius socks. I have multiple pairs of them. I am a giant Mobius fan.
I love it. I don't buy pop figures a lot, and I don't buy the Marvel ones because they're bobbleheads and they annoy me. But they're making one of Mobius on the jet ski, and I might buy that.
That's pretty cool.
That broke my heart. Yeah, such a good show. So I didn't answer a question. I don't think so.
No, I think we got a good
out.
idea of who Avren is. I think I got a much better idea of who Avren is, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Meagan, if somehow folks don't know who Widdle is, who is Widdle?
Oh, wow. Widdle has kind of gone through this evolution since I started playing her a few years ago. She's always kind of been this fun-loving gnome. And recently, she has experienced a bit of a character arc where she is battling with taking over full power. Like in the Fate Breaker, she had this opportunity to wield the Fate Breaker, which is this tome that can wield time. And she was very much tempted to take it for herself, but she knew that if she kept it, she was going to do something bad with it. So she handed it over to Brother Uriah, which I thought was like a really fun exploration into like what her personality is deep down, because usually you only see like the surface Widdle. Like she's really fun. She's kind of obnoxious. I try to tone that down a little bit because I know that gnomes historically can kind of take away from any kind of like darker tone you're trying to have with the game. Which I learned a lot about when we were doing Ravenloft, when she was like trapped in Barovia after sacrificing her soul to the dark powers. She was trapped there for a few hundred years, and that can kind of damper someone's spirit a little bit. So I really tried to make sure that I was leaning into those consequences of living in Barovia where there's no sun, and it's a serious setting.
Yeah.
I tried to do that justice. So I think in like the last year and a half, that's been a really fun part of playing Widdle, because you can play a gnome that's a little serious, but knows when to crack a joke when the time is right.
100%. I do have to shout out Lurking Writer in the chat. Who said Widdle plus time stop, name a better love story.
Yeah.
That was pretty
stop.
impressive. That was a fun.
That
nice
that
phrase.
last episode was, I think, the most research I've ever done for any D&D game in my entire life, because I was like, okay, as a wizard, my spells are not going to do anything to Asmodeus. So I was like, okay, what do I have equipment-wise? And then I was looking at what I can do with time stop. I'm like, well, that's pretty powerful. You can roll 1d4, and that's how many rounds you get. And as long as you're not affecting this target. I think there was once I took the ruby rod, that ended it. But I was pretty proud of that one. I think I did delayed blast fireball too.
Definitely used time stop to its fullest extent.
I tried.
It was a good point. I mean, like, yeah, you're
research.
going to fail. Probably, like, he's got a lot of legendary resistances and blah blah. But you could steal his staff. So that's why rogues can be fun too. Is you can get around some of what's in the stat block. If you're like, I time stop and I steal from him. Oh well, okay, I don't know what to do with this. The summoning the Trask though was
which has one of my favorite pieces of artwork I've ever seen. That I think
Same.
went around the other day.
Nikki Dawes really knocked it out of the park.
Nikki
I think-
Dawes. Ugh. Yeah.
I think they were like, oh, I don't know if I can draw this the way that you imagined it, but it's so much better. It's so much cooler than I
With
could
the
imagine.
WTF look on Asmodeus's face. Yeah, it's
Yeah, if
pretty...
you find that picture on Twitter, try to zoom in on Asmodeus's face.
We need to get that. We do need to print that out to like a mural sized spot,
Mhm.
like over the fireplace or something.
Well, you
Yeah,
have
I
the
think that's
you have
my favorite
the Widdle in place of Strahd one printed out. Like, did you have that one
Yeah.
framed? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have that one.
We need
It's
to
not
frame that
framed
one
yet.
too.
You need a Widdle wall.
Ugh,
Yeah.
there's
I'm
so
more
much
interested in
empty space
Megan's
this
characters
house.
than I'm interested in my own.
I know that feel.
I think because you're also interested in corrupting them.
There's
Oh. Oh, it's not me. Okay.
Widdle was already corrupt. Widdle came out wrong. Became. Oh no, am I
Sorry, if you can
frozen?
hear me, my Zoom just.
Nope, you're
went.
back.
Okay, we are back.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
am
was
I
that
back?
More than just
Yeah.
a
Oh,
minute?
weird.
Widdle cast time stop.
Fascinating. Yeah, that's how it works. My favorite thing about Widdle, and which just makes me so happy, is that Widdle was a part of a one shot and encountered a vampire. And Widdle, being Widdle, this is a great role playing for Megan. Widdle just assumed the head vampire was the reason why a vampire attacked her. And they found out the head vampire was Strahd, and so went on a campaign to kill Strahd, to enter the Shadowfell, to go to Ravenloft, and Strahd does not know who this person is.
That's why
Nor
Widdle's
has
haircut
ever
has gotten
known.
shorter and shorter because
Yeah.
she's her final form is going to be I want to talk to your manager, Bob.
But like this person took over Barovia, who still to this day probably doesn't realize that Strahd had nothing to do with anything. Like, and Strahd's just like, you cannot
Yeah.
fight this level of absurdity. I find that very amusing.
Yeah, no one expects that.
Yeah. No one suspects a gnome will cross dimensions
I think Todd-
to kill you because of some other vampire. Yeah.
well, the
It's-
first time Strahd encountered Widdle was when she was loading undead bodies with alchemist fire
Yeah.
and using
As you do.
yeah, and catapulting them at Castle Ravenloft.
Yeah.
I don't usually do questions in the middle of the episode, but you know, because it's the We Love Hope episode, Hope said, what do you think is Strahd's biggest nightmare? Is it Widdle?
Yes. Because Strahd is a genius. Very controlling, likes his domain, likes escaping his domain, but you can't fight, and I'm going to not use a certain word, but I'll just say you can't fight Widdle. Because Widdle is not rational. You can't fight something. Widdle is a force of nature. Like a storm decided to go descend upon Strahd, and he did nothing to earn it. Strahd has done horrible things. He did nothing to earn Widdle. There was no prediction. Like there was no prophecy. There's nothing. There's just Widdle showed up. Like,
Yeah.
Of course he's more afraid because one day, no matter if he comes back or not, a Widdle will come.
Like at no point was one of the staff of Ravenloft be like, you ever thought about if like a really angry gnome got pissed off at you in another plane?
Well, he would probably just assume that, oh, I would just, kill her just by looking at her. But I think a gnome that has no fear and really doesn't know much about vampires or Strahd is probably a little bit more dangerous than someone who has all the information.
It was pretty funny because when Widdle did first attack Strahd, and I tried to express to Megan, I'm like, you're going to die. Like, you're not. Widdle is going to end here.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I never die in D&D, and I'm not afraid of dying in D&D. I'm just
I
like,
know.
come for me. Fine, let's do this.
One hit from Strahd. I think it was 2 hits, and
I escaped with one
Widdle
hit
was
point.
down to 1 hit point and just just misty stepped right out into the glass and then into the water because it's technically running water.
I took his throne.
You
It's
didn't
a
take
material plane.
You got his throne later. That was like, yes, but
That
you
wasn't
did.
the same. Okay.
No, you
I took
didn't
his
tell.
throne, no.
No. You did go back to get his throne.
I just
You
love
really-
the
you
idea
really
that Will's
picked
just
on
like,
this-
fine, well, I'm taking this.
I'm taking the throne.
Again, I know Strahd's evil, but he really did nothing to you.
We had it coming with
it's like you're like going to the movies with some friends and someone just punches you for no reason, and you're just like, "What happened?" Like, you look like you like yogurt. Like someone just screams something, you just don't know what happened.
You look real easy to draw.
You look real easy to draw as our new go-to insult. You say that to someone, they're not gonna walk away from that.
Huh? Yeah, I think that would mess me up.
Yeah.
It would take me a moment, but yeah, that would leave me with.
You would be thinking
emotions.
about that for years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially if it was just some random person. Oh my god.
No, that's mean enough that Widdle would definitely save that for Strahd.
I love it.
That's horrible. Are you regretting this choice, Trevor, to interview
Oh, absolutely
us?
not. This is what I hoped and dreamed for. So
Okay, good.
Well, one question I do have for with Widdle and Avren have because I know, Todd, you've had Avren show up in games that you've run with Meagan as Widdle, but have you two as players gotten to play these two in a game together?
Oh, they're dangerous together. Yes.
Yeah,
Widdle turned Avren into a god, remember?
Oh yeah, we did play in a one shot, and there was like an interesting old module that existed that was run for us, and it had to do with actually not a Serac. No, it was Vecna, I think.
One of those liches.
There was literally a device that can turn you into a god, except for the caveat is you can never leave. Yeah, we went dark side on that one. We didn't do the good thing. We decided, Widdle was just like, I'm gonna turn Avren into a god. There's literally a lever that can turn you into a god.
The machine is operated by ectoplasm, and the ectoplasm was from this innocent high elf. And Todd was like, or Avren was like, oh no,
it was from a lot of souls. A high elf tried to stop us, and I exploded a statue inside of it. I snuck what is basically an iron golem, which you're not supposed to be able to change its form, but basically just imagine a very, very large statue. I shrank it down with polymorph, and I did a sleight of hand check, and I stuck it in their pocket. So when I released the polymorph, they exploded. And then I put the remains of the high elf, who tried to thwart my godhood, into a box, and I sent it. Who's a good god in Waterdeep?
A god?
I think I sent it to Paladine. I'm like, this is your problem now. But I put a diamond in the fleshy bits that were left.
Oh,
in the box.
You at least paid for it, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
nice.
I paid for the. It's gonna be fine. I'm sure there's no drama there.
Lauren says you sent it to Paylor.
I did send it to. Yeah, it was Paylor. I did mail it to Paylor.
And then Maverick 2 in the chat says FedEx or UPS.
I gotta start playing Avren again. Really, yeah. I gotta get back into Avren. Avren was fun. I did need a break because I felt like a horrible villain of a character. But I think the world's ready.
See, Avren convinced Widdle that you were not going to use all of the ectoplasm in that box. And so that's the reason Widdle was comfortable pulling that lever, and she rolled a natural 20.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't even supposed to work.
You used all of it.
That was pretty funny. That was a great roll. That was pretty funny.
That was fun.
So yeah, that kind of lines up with what I would expect a session with the two of you as players for these characters would go.
Avren's like half Deadpool, half Loki. That's pretty much what you're dealing with.
Yeah, Sophia's one of my older characters that I played in Silver and Steel is Avren's wife.
Yeah.
And they've been laid to rest, and they've been resting under a giant tree for many years. But before that, Widdle and Avren were very dangerous together. Widdle would be like very encouraging of doing things that maybe Sophia's wouldn't want Avren to do. So it was like this. It was a really fun dynamic.
I love that. I'm getting the ping that we're going to be doing the giveaway here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see how graceful that was? I said it would totally be before we started doing the show. We're going to be doing a giveaway here in chat in a little bit. Our awesome mod Mars is going to put a phrase into the chat. Just put that in as is, and you'll be entered for a chance to win 42 chests of your choice, excluding Bahamut chests. You could get 42 Avren chests or 42 Will chests.
You could get 42 physical Avren chests. So not chests, but just like clone
just
chests.
the chest. Yeah, just the torso. Yep.
Yeah, just the
delivered
torso.
Directly to your house. Non-refrigerated boxes.
Oh, totally not refrigerated. That spoils it.
That spoils it, yes.
Well, he's mostly a hot dog anyway, so it's, I'm telling you, might get 42 chests in the mail.
I'm gonna go into the game after we're done here, and I'm gonna change Avren's bio to mostly hot dogs, and that's all it's gonna say.
Frankly, I'm mostly hot dog at this point. I'll eat any hot dog on the street. I don't care
As long
who
as it's not off the street.
Nah, not usually, but
Okay.
whatever.
Depends on how
I'll
long
take
it's been
that
sitting on the
usually.
street.
I love a hot dog vendor. Yep. I just can't wait. I've eaten them in New York. Sometimes they cook the hot dogs with a like a grocery cart.
Oh, okay.
You just need some candles and aluminum foil. I'm not joking. I've eaten those. Yeah, they're great.
You learn something new on every episode of IL Insights, chat. This is why you're here.
It's fine.
you know.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. Probably no health concerns.
Well, chat uses that key phrase for the giveaway. What we've talked about things that have happened in it, but like if people don't know, what was Heroes of the Plains?
Oh, what was it? That's an interesting. It's an interesting question. I don't know.
You don't know?
We
No answer.
we started on the prime material plane. We bounced around a lot. It was very timey-wimey.
It was like Beyond Heroes. It was like what was it?
Can you name all of the show names?
No, I cannot. So it was like Teeny Presents Beyond Heroes, or I don't know. Lauren knows. Lauren knows the answer to this. I'm being a bad DM. And then we shortened it to Beyond Heroes, and then it became Heroes of the Veil. Oh, it was Heroes of the Veil, Beyond Heroes, and then Heroes of the Plains. Okay. I'm not completely old yet. Yeah, so that's it was a continuation of the story, and kind of a good way to wrap up those plot lines and those storylines. And it had been a really long plot line having to do with Asmodeus over time that I wanted to like kind of. I had this idea. I'd never liked to define who the Lady of Pain was, but I just loved the idea that the Lady of Pain and Asmodeus had unfinished business, even for 1 second. And the idea that Asmodeus, who is a genius, only wanted one chance to, for a second, be in Sigil, for just 1 second, willing to do anything to send a message to the multiverse, was just too juicy too high stakes. Like, how much time is too much time with Asmodeus? 1 second of Asmodeus in Planescape is too much time. And 1 second in a locked room with Asmodeus is definitely too much time.
Yeah.
As Hope Lavelle helped me with to prove like what torture is with something that evil. It's also like wanting to wrap up the character stories and not wrap them up as much, but like, in Avren's weird plotting of stuff against Asmodeus, he thought making everyone a god or finding a way to turn everyone into gods would be like a safe thing. Like nuclear weapons. It's kind of a horrible idea, right? Like, it's like, I know I'll turn all my friends into gods, or I'll like lead them down the path to godhood maybe, and that will help the universe. And like, there's probably some fallout after that we didn't cover.
You made all the players feel so special. Like you would kind of clock what they were interested in, and then you would make them change the multiverse. You would give them all this power, but then you would also give them all these consequences.
Yeah, I'm big on consequence. You always you try to do your best as a dungeon master. For a campaign that goes 3 or 4 years, it's very hard to make. Yeah, you always want people to have the game that you didn't get to play in, I guess.
Yeah. And I do feel like, Todd, that you gave your players that one, because like I'm blessed to get to talk to like so many of the people that were on that show, and all of them talk about it so fondly. Like that is a moment in time for all of them. And I mean, I even in chat, like this entire episode, I've been seeing things about like, oh, when's the gang gonna get back together and stuff like that. Like that is that show is something special.
Yeah, it was.
That's very kind.
The finale is definitely one of those things that I think because not a lot of shows get to have that final episode, and when they do, like, I am always appreciative when they get to be like something really special, and I feel like the one that y'all got to do was just so dang special.
I felt like someone had punched me in the head at the end of that. I bet
it
was so. It was so many emotions and so many things. And then we got to have the wedding, which was also equally. I love that Hope had a perfectly good wedding with her character, Penelope, which I always used to call them the other thing. I try to like say hello to Hope and I would say Penelope, or I would call Penelope Hope. But there was a tree that was gifted to them that was like the grinding tree. It's so disgusting that Widdle and Fordred ruined it before their wedding. This is a wedding
I don't even know how
episode.
that happened.
That was you. That's all you. You
No,
dragged
but I don't know what
Fordred into
prompted
these
me to do that.
very, very charged situations. Like, yeah, it's yeah, it was a very special time. Everyone role played really, fantastically, obviously. And it was a very epic way to go. I was very happy with how that ended, but man, that took a lot of prep. A lot of prep.
Oh, I bet.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
bet. Yeah, there's been a few other shows that have gotten to do like I was talking to Brian Eugenio from Rivals of Waterdeep recently, and they got together to do that final episode for that show, and I there's something so special about endings for shows. Like, it's sad because it's an ending, like that's it and stuff like that. But like I love those because I feel like it really does show where that show has been and where those characters have been, and you all just showed that in like one of the best ways possible. So I love that one.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll do a variant show one day. I do
We
like
should.
I do have a variant of Avren that I like, because I just always worry, like, what if Avren's always going to be married to Sophia's in every iteration, but there's got to be like, I do have the Avren Prime. The thing is, I still love playing Fordred so much. I actually got to play Fordred for PAX Unplugged
really?
years ago. And actually, at the time, he was a bugbear, but it was the Bane voice. And I had people chanting my name, and I never experienced something like that live in my whole life. Kate Welch running that game. And it was just the weirdest moment of my life. I wish I had footage of it, but I was just too like, you cannot handle playing a D&D game and having someone chant your personal name in a crowd of people in a convention center. That is the weirdest experience I will ever have.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I would do TVA version of Heroes for sure. I love the TVA. I love organizations in fantasy situations. I love bureaucracy.
Oh, yeah.
I love Modrons. I love all that. And let's face it, there needs to be D&D time cops at this point, and Avren would 100% be probably behind that shit. Sorry, I mean poop.
I mean, we do have gate wardens and sigil, but I guess it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I love time cops. I just love time cops.
I feel like Todd wants someone operating outside of sigil. Someone who even the Lady of Pain is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. It was a good show. And again, Hope's in the chat. Lauren is also in the chat. I'm not trying to hide the fact that is true. Yeah, it is a really good crew of people.
Yeah, lots of good memories there.
Yeah. We got some questions from chat, but before that, I do want to bring this up because Meagan, you mentioned it before, and and even Todd, you did, and it's in Avren's equipment on a piece. Who is Sophia's?
Sophia's is a half elf. It has been a few years since I've played her, so forgive me if I forget a few details. But she made her first appearance in Silver and Steel. She was an artificer, and she was just this fun-loving character who really loved to cook, and was very creative with her spell components and the way that she described things. And she had the very broad Eastern European accent that no one could quite place. But because I'm kind of a soft-spoken person and Sophia's is also soft-spoken, that's also what contributed to like making the move to playing Widdle. Because she kind of talks like Bill Burr, so it like makes me project a little bit more.
My favorite bit was after the game last year, that everyone got together and had a Widdle voice in the cast. It was so cute.
That was
I-
so
I
great.
almost-
I feel like
I
I
think I
peaked
cried.
in my
Yeah.
role playing career. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
That was everyone had a. I'm walking here. Like, everyone had their like weird version of Widdle.
I mean, Will did make a bunch of clones of herself beneath Castle Ravenloft, so it could
Cloning
be
is
a
a
spin-off
theme.
episode.
Cloning is a theme. It is an interesting point. Go like, there can be very big personalities in live play shows and very theatrical in how you play your characters, and it's a very difficult balance. And Critical Role is very good about this. Is giving people enough time to be heard, and so it can be hard to play a passive character. And it's not that Sophia's was passive, but Sophia's was soft-spoken, deliberate, and very kind. But when fireballs are going off every second, that's a hard, that's a hard thing to be in. Sometimes when other characters are like
Mhm.
constantly,
Yeah.
high energy. So, and I that's why I loved what Hope Lavelle did with Penelope as well, because Penelope could sometimes get overshadowed by like larger energies, right, in the show. But Penelope would drop some truth bombs that would destroy you. Would say something like just and some sneaky stuff. I remember once Avren said something to her, like to Penelope, and Penelope said something like, "It's like, well, how do you know I'm not lying?" And she's like, "I know you wouldn't lie because my friend wouldn't lie to me." And
Oh.
and he was like, "Okay, I guess." Like, just stabs you right in the heart. Like, yeah, like Hope Lavelle is a emotional assassin. Yeah,
I love it. All right, let's go see what chat's been asking while we've been talking here.
I won't answer any of it.
All right, well, Megan, it's all on you.
Oh,
Cassius 335 says,
Don't leave me in the trenches, Todd.
This is the trenches?
No.
Cassius 335 says, question, Idol Champion seems to have given up on seasons. You know the wording we use. We said it's on pause for now. But any chance of Heroes of the Plains reunion anyway?
Anything is possible.
There you go.
I do like time, but the thing is, everyone's so powerful. Like, I really have to rethink it. I'm very particular about like certainly elements of possibly. Sure.
Just oops, all Tarasques. That's what we have to fight as level 20.
Everyone is a Tarrasque. It's a very.
Everyone is a
I would
Tarrasque,
also
yeah.
love that.
I think I would want to do like. I did like the how we ended things when Asmodeus said, "I wish that you think you won." I find that the most unsettling thing.
Ooh,
And
that was.
I have a friend who has a notable
Mental
live play
warfare.
show that I said, "Hey, is this too bad? Does this steal agency, or is this too dark?" And that friend who has a show said, "Do it." Like, that's so messed up. Like, everyone's gonna have a different belief. Did he cast Wish? And they did believe that he is dead, or did not work and they do believe he's still alive. Like, there's no winning. It's just the worst. It's the worst thing to say. I was
We are
very
talking
proud of
about
that. It was a good-
Asmodeus here.
Hmm?
I said we are talking about Asmodeus here.
It's
Yes.
true. It's true. Let's see. Wait, this. No, okay. Rough Rider 1995 says, question, when will we see the two of you in a live play together again?
Oh wow.
Hopefully
I think
soon.
like what? When? What? We are?
No, I said hopefully soon.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I may have cut out.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I love playing with Megan. We always have like a good energy.
Mhm.
It'd be great to have like a table.
Mm.
It would have to be. It's so
Yeah.
much work being a dungeon master, but like, yeah, I love playing D&D, and I like playing D&D with this human being. So
What?
I have a crush on you.
Aww.
I
Breaking
know.
news.
Yeah,
You know what? You've been playing it real cool for like the
Real
last 12 years. I
cool.
had no idea. We're like married. We have a house. You have a crush on me?
That's
Why
not
didn't you
proof of
tell me
anything.
sooner?
it'll be one of those creepy documentaries. And then they found out his second life. Working at Staples.
There's the other shoe.
I
I
don't
knew
know.
there had to be one.
There's always a,
Yeah, but it would be really
with
cool to have
with
to
Avren
have a home
Pete,
game.
there's always another shoe.
With Manaphy.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
No.
Oh man. So many, and
The
you want them to
worst day at
match.
Foot Locker.
I want to try on all of them.
Would all of your feet be the same size? Or would they
I don't
be
think
different?
so. Let's make it creepier.
And like much harder
Different
for the Foot Locker
stages of
employees.
development, Avren Manapede. So you've got some little legs, you got some big legs.
Oh,
I am
Lord.
the worst. This is why I play D&D, because I can't just be this way in real life. Avren, yeah. It's too I can't think of a character in film or television that's quite as messed up, but like I guess Rick from Rick and Morty has a lot of
Yes, yeah.
lines with Avren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I can see
Yeah.
that.
Let's see. I think this is gonna be our last one. A lurking writer says, question, Meagan, you're familiar with Breaking the World as Widdle. Famously, Todd as Avren broke both the World and Idol Champions chat during Trials of Mount Tiamat.
That's true.
Did you see that live, and what was your reaction to it? I think that both of you, what was both of your reactions to each other breaking the world of D&D?
I always know I'm gonna get to witness something pretty epic when I'm watching Todd play. Like when he was in Idol Champions Presents, that was amazing watching him like help take down Tiamat, because he's always got some kind of clever tool in his back pocket that I never would have thought of. Because not only is he good with the mechanics, and I'm not just saying this because I'm biased and I'm married to him. I mean, I am. But he knows everything about the game, but he's also just really good at thinking outside of the box. So it's always kind of a treat to it feels like watching football.
Oh,
Like you're rooting for your team.
I love that. What about you, Todd? What was your reaction to Widdle breaking everything?
I do. I love watching Meagan playing games because it is like watching sports, and I will literally be like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme pointing at the TV, just like.
I think
I
Todd
have
was in a cold sweat
screamed
when
and
Widdle
howled
turned
before.
Widdle turned Sharif's character into a Dompier.
Oh my god!
And the
What?
DM actually allowed it, and Sharif is okay with it, and we
Yeah.
took it offline. I was like, "Are you okay with
This
this?"
has become a
'Cause-
very different game.
Yeah, and then it was amazing because Idol Champions like actually changed the character's eyes colors to red like that day later.
Overnight.
That was pretty amazing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's and again, you'd like to see the people that you love in your life succeed. Again, it was Widdle has the best song, Little Bit Evil,
Widdle does have an
by
amazing song.
Jason. I don't even, and this is not a knock on the Avren song, but like the Widdle song I played like 80 times.
Yeah, shout out to the lurking writer for helping write those lyrics. Those were
Oh
really
my God.
epic.
And then again, people like any nonsense that Widdle is up to is so exciting, and I scream and then everyone has a Widdle voice. It's just a universal character. I just love it. I'm jealous. I don't have a character that is that.
I will say Widdle is
beloved.
on my list of champions that I want to write in an adventure to
Aw.
try and get that voice right.
It's just a little like Bill Burr and what Russian doll?
Natasha Lyonne.
Natasha Lyonne and Bill Burr had a kid. Just like
Ipso facto. They would have two kids named Ipso and Facto.
Ipso. That's right. We might want to make That's our next couple cosplay. Is we'll have two goblins named Ipso and Facto. Ipso Facto.
You do have Glitch now. You could always just give him the Bill Burr accent.
Glitch Avren. I don't know. I haven't figured out that voice. It's hard for me not to do the Vordred voice. I find myself practicing it while I drive. It's just concerning because it's such a weird voice.
I do some of my best voice acting when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And nobody can hear me.
Everyone assumes I'm on the phone. I'm like, no, it's just me in here.
No.
Driving a 5-ton vehicle. I'm out there.
Well, with that ominous threat, I think that's a good place to end things here, 'cause we gotta get going.
Yeah.
Meagan, Todd, thank you so much for joining me today. This was so much fun to get to talk to the two of you, and
This
I
was
always love hearing
terrible.
about.
Oh.
Oh well, thank you. We'll be sure that, like, when we put this up, there's just a quote from "This was terrible, Todd."
This
Kenreck."
was terrible.
Yeah, this is terrible. You should watch it.
Yeah, a good one.
If people wanted to find the two of you and what you do on the interwebs, where could they do so?
Don't find me.
All right, there you go, Meagan.
I'm on Twitter. I'm in most places on the web, honestly. TikTok, Twitter,
Where Meagan Kenreck was sold.
Instagram. Meagan Kenrecks are not sold. I am known as Meagan Kenreck on Twitter, and I never plan on changing it.
I
There you
know
go.
you don't.
Well, once again, thank you two so much for joining me this week. That's going to do it for this week's episode of Idle Insight. So until next week, take care of yourself.
Thanks, everyone.
Or not.